Okay, where we last left off was the unit was complete, everything was all put back together, all tested, everything worked. The blue screen was installed, the Bivert mod was installed, everything was up and going. The right button on the Game Boy was a little bit stiff, so I had to investigate that. But anyway, what has arrived today is the white backlight screen. And I did promise you I would show the installation of that because this particular screen is slightly different. The resistor is not currently attached, it has to be done separately. So the process of installing it is slightly different. The other point I should obviously point out to you is yesterday when I put the little filter in, I took one side off with the protective film, not realising that there's actually one on the other side. So just to make you aware of that, whenever you're installing this yourself, there is a protective film on both sides, and if you bother to read the instructions, and clearly I didn't, it tells you that very clearly. There's protective cover on both sides, and I had this up, here we are, see? Anyway, I'm not going to use this one. I'll put this with the blue screen, which is going to come out, and I will show you the installation of the white one. So just bear with me while I desolder the older screen here, well, the new old screen. Just take these points off, and I just need to, I've got my soldering iron here already heated up, just need to grab the wire and be ready to yank it free from the solder whenever, like that. And same with the red one. Trying not to get the heat on anything, especially the capacitor. There we are. The best thing about this is the solder is already there when it comes time to attach the new points. So let's get rid of the blue screen. So just be careful lifting this up. Now remember I did end up sticking this down, so I will need to lift this up and be aware that it is stuck down. Need to be careful. You don't want to yank it with these the cable here. And I never like using my blade, but sometimes the blade is the only thing that is fine enough just to get under and lift things up. And always just be careful, you know, it's never in a rush to come off, so don't you be in a rush to try and get it off, just take your time. There we go. She's free. So let me take this away. Nothing wrong with this screen. Just turn it over so the sticky side isn't getting caught in anything, and I'll just cover that up with a wee piece of plastic so it keeps its stickiness. We're going to go to reuse that. Now let me show the difference in these two screens. So I'll leave it that way for now. Here we go. This is the white screen, and this has kindly been donated by Deadpan Robot. That is their details. Very friendly team, very quick dispatch, everything arrives safely. And they even have this, look at the way this is even logo and everything. So let's show you the blue screen. The blue screen had the wires already attached. I didn't have to solder any of that. And if I get something fine to point with, I'll just use this piece of screwdriver. You see the resistor R1, the resistor, tiny resistor is already there. So we didn't need to attach the resistor anywhere. It was already there. Okay, so that made installation a lot easier. Now, if you don't purchase from Deadpan, or you purchase a different one, or I mean Deadpan supply both, you may need to attach the resistor. So I'll show you, best thing about doing this is I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's remove the blue screen. Now you see the wires aren't attached and there's no resistor to this particular screen. Okay, doesn't appear to be any sticky thing in the back of this one either. So that just sits in loose, there's no little sticky thing to hold it. It's fine, don't need one. and I'll show you what you get in the pack. So in the pack you get 2 wires, not necessarily always going to be green and red, it could be 2 red, doesn't matter. 3 different colours just help you distinguish between the plus and minus. I'll use the red for the plus and the green for the ground, for the negative. So what you also get in the pack is a little resistor. Now I think off the top of my head this little kit costs £13 from Deadpan Robot. I think it's the Pro kit. And this is a resistor. And you notice vastly bigger than the one on the other one. This is just the style of this one. So what we need to do is connect that to the red line, to the plus line, the positive line. And the easiest way to do that is to wind. Doesn't matter what side of this resistor you go on, really doesn't matter. Just to point out as well, you may have to cut the plastic off the wire. You might not already have the metal or the filament exposed, so you might have to cut that wire a little, which I've done. And you just want to wrap that wire around as close to the resistor as you can. All the metal and what are the guts of this thing in one place, because we're going to solder this. Like so. I'm literally going to apply a blob of solder to hold the wire in place here. And that's one side done. Now, this is pretty much one of the hardest parts done and out of the way. And all we're doing now is, we don't need this entire length of leg, we can just clip that quite close. And we can snip off the rest. That goes in the bin, we don't need them. And then we're going to snip this a little bit. Now before I snip that, I'm going to show you where it goes. So this will be inside the Game Boy. And this other leg of this resistor will be sitting on the plus. Now we don't need it way down there. It can come up a lot closer. But before we start cutting the other leg, let's just make sure it can clear the plastic bridge. So let's put this in, and I can see what I'm doing here. So now, oh, it's fine. The thing is right over the lip. There's enough space here. I can go ahead and put that pretty close. That's not going to obstruct anything. So let's just take this out. So, and let's give this a teeny bit of a snip. Give me a little bit of room. We'll go with that and snip off. Don't need that. Okay. That's actually one of the hardest bits done. So we're ready to go, we're ready to rock and roll. Let's get this attached to this board here first, and then it's pretty much we're at the next step that we would have been when it was the blue screen already assembled for us. So what we're doing now is putting this on plus. Let's line it up like so. If you're needing to hold this down, I would suggest using something else to do so. Just like that, if you need to hold that steady or hold it down, or I see people do this online, they make it look so effortless, but in real life things are never normally as easy. Now there we go. So that is the resistor attached, the wire attached. We just need to attach the green one now as well. Perfect. Sometimes it works out quite easy, sometimes it can be quite difficult. So as you see, resistor to the plus, positive, the other side of resistor to the wire, in my case it's red, this is your positive, and the negative then connected. So basically now what we've got through that wee piece of work is what was already done for us with the blue screen. Had the resistor in and the wires already attached. So let's get the Game Boy back over. And let's place them in. And this time we need to remember the filament on this one. Now there's a wee bit of dust on the screen. I'm just going to, without using any chemicals, just give it a wee wipe with my glass wipe cloth. Let's place that inside like so. We're not burning with the filament yet because I want to attach the wires and I want to then test to make sure the light comes on, make sure I've done everything correctly before moving on. Now you see there is quite a lot of wire, and they give you quite a lot of wire just in case you need to cut or make any adjustments. What I could do is cut this down quite significantly so it's a much tinier job. I might do that. The other thing we can do is if we attach, we just push the wire through neatly through the other side. So I think what I'll just do for the purposes of testing anyway, and before we move on, is just attach with the long wires as they are. Now as I say, the best about it is there's solder already here, so a little bit of heat, and this should just attach quite nicely. Hopefully you can see. And that's lovely. Really don't have much solder there at all on that. I thought I had more before, so what I'll do is we'll just apply a little fresh piece more just to make sure that it's done right, basically. Just a little blob. That appears to be connected correctly. So really, you don't want to leave that like that because our buttons are all at the front here. So we just tuck them down under, and I won't attempt to do an Australian accent. So let's push that down into there every moment. And when you're pulling, be very careful. You don't pull anything out. There, nice and tidy. Do the same with the red wire, and I've not noticed something else we'll just have to tidy up as well. We'll do that in a moment. Let's just get this wire out of the way. Okay, the buttons and pads are here, so let's just bend this over out of the way. Let me just get under here a moment, hold that down tight. Just bend that down. Don't want anything to get in the way. And that's quite fine underneath here, it's not going to do any harm. So before we go any further, I'm just going to reattach the batteries, make sure everything still fires up as it should do. So we've got our nice white screen that is all connected correctly. So what I need to do is just take the batteries out again. That can stay there. Let's get the polarizer. See what direction we need to do this. Now again, I have the Bivert in, so it has to be the blue screen, not the green screen. So it goes that way. Now, unlike last time, I'm going to remember to take both sides of the protective film off this. And actually remember, and try not to get your finger marks on this. Especially now, remember to take both sides off the protective film. That's green. I even had it the wrong way that first time, so there we are. You really need to take the protective films off to know what direction in that needs to be. Now, make sure the screen is in correctly. There is a little mark on this screen. I noticed this yesterday. I'm wondering if I can get that off, or is it not going to come off? Thought it was on the actual replacement screen that I got, but no. It does feel like it's scraped, and that would make sense because this Game Boy originally didn't have any protective cover on it, so something has scraped that. And it was not me, I can assure you. And it is on the outside, I can feel the scrape. Anyway, done the best we can with what we've got. Next little step is to reattach the tiny little screws that hold the screen down and in place before we go any further. Okay. Right. Now, the last time I tried to use all the original parts, the start and select button was discoloured. There was a problem with the right hand button here. So what I'm going to do is I've got another kit of all the new silicone as well, just to rule out. So there's the new, that's over here somewhere. I'm going to put it back on this other screen here. These are the new buttons, just to show you the discoloration of the old ones. There's the old one. But just to rule this out, it could just be the way it was put back in the case. There might have been something obstructing it on that particular side. That's why I was being very careful to make sure all this was clear. So let's get the other piece over here, which is this. I'm being silly. Put the buttons in first where we've got them. Here they are. And you can't go wrong with knowing the direction these go in, because the little plastic bits here line everything up for you. Just like that. Just like that. Now, set that down carefully. It's going to be easier actually if I disconnect this once again from the back piece, reattach it, and it'll be easier to attach to that piece. Again, don't force anything in, it should all just slot in quite nicely. And that all seems to fit quite well. Let's just screw all of this in. Okay, now let me just see how, oh, that feels so much better. I don't know if it was the silicone, not likely, it was probably likely that I had trapped something under there when I assembled this last time. And we can see the lovely blue reflection of the screen. This is going to look lovely once we're up and going. So just place your wires, just don't pull them at this point, just set them down and reattach the connector then to the back portion of the Game Boy. Okay, let's get the batteries in and give this boy a go. I'm thinking this is going to be the better one, but let's see. Let's get the game in. Of course, Star Trek. Wow, now that is, to me, vastly superior to the blue screen that we had on previously. The contrast's working lovely. Buttons feel a lot better this time. Oh yeah, don't know what I've done last time, but wow. I can just see that there. That is so much better than what I had before, and the light's glaring on you, so it's hard for you to see, but that is a vast improvement. Love to know your thoughts. I hope you've got learned a lot through this process and can go ahead and feel confident in upgrading your own Game Boys to put the screens in, to put the Bivert mods in. As you can see, it's not that difficult, and if I can do it, you can do it. Alright guys, that's one from me. Good luck with your own projects. Love to know your opinions and thoughts on what we've just done, and see you in the comment section.